All right. All right. What's going on, Ricardo? What's going on, man?
Nothing much, bro. Nothing much.
How you doing? Should
I'm
we
good,
head
bro. I'm
up or
feeling good today, man.
cool, cool, cool. Cause I hope you're feeling all right, man. I hope you're feeling
Yes,
good.
sir, man. How you feeling? You excited?
I'm sorry.
Here you go, here. Here you go.
It's COVID. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I just took a fucking fat boy of a dab off camera. Goddamn. Jesus Christ. But yeah, man. You know how it is. You know how it is. Jesus. So speaking of fat boys, actually, I took a huge rip the other day,
Yeah.
and I got really, really high, right? But
Mm.
I mean, like usual, like anybody would. Obviously, it's not the point of the story. But I was sitting here trying to watch some videos and shit, and I ended up just going down a rabbit hole of shit that was actually pretty interesting. But it was just pretty. It's also like kind of conspiratorial. It's like about like the moon being maybe was brought over here like times before the moon, or the moon could just be hollow. It's just a bunch of shit about the moon. And I was just thinking, like, man, that's like it's pretty fucking cool. So I looked more into it, and I got a bunch of stuff up that I thought was pretty interesting. But how do you think, right?
Mm.
Hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. How would you feel, right, if you found out that aliens are real, first of all?
If they were real, honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised because
Really?
there's no way there's not other like beings in a vast universe that we have.
You're right. You're right.
Like there's no way we're like the only beings out of like tens of millions and millions and millions of planets. Like there's no way.
But like
And if we're
how
able
do you
to
think they
adapt to
are though?
things, how do I think they are?
Yeah, like you're saying that like oh well, you know between all these different planets and shit. So do you think they're pretty much like aliens off on a different planet, or do you mean like the guys like visiting? Or do you think they were like visiting us and all that type of shit?
I think honestly, I think they probably have visited us because
That's interesting.
if we're so called, moving on technology, the government is moving on technology 25 years ahead, then clearly people who are smarter than us can do that shit, can do that like 10 times better. So there's no way like we haven't been visited.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So, I mean, honestly, I mean, growing up thinking about aliens, it'd be like aliens on the moon and all that, like the moon. That's why I had brought up the stories about the moon because I'm like, that'd be crazy if the moon was hollow and like aliens were just chilling over there or some shit. That would be
For
funny.
real.
That would be pretty funny. But this theory is pretty interesting. So let me read you this, right? Multiple scientists claim the moon is a hollow construct. But this isn't like a government website or anything. It's newspunch.com. It says like one example is a testimony of Colonel Ross Dedrick, who was responsible for maintaining the inventory of the nuclear weapon stockpile for the United States. I need my glasses. Give me 1 second. Damn, can't see for shit. Yep, there we go. All right, so pretty much it says like shortly before his passing, he told the world that the U.S. tried to detonate atomic weapons on the moon for scientific purposes, measurements and whatnot. It literally says and whatnot. Okay, I've never seen that in a website. And that this project was halted by extraterrestrials who would not allow the U.S. to detonate any nuclear weapons in space. These were some interesting comments because he's also one of hundreds of high ranking military people who have alluded to such things. We also have declassified report by the Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center from June 1959 that shows how seriously they were considering the plan. The report is called Project A119. Well, let me look that up right now because I remember Joe Rogan was also talking about how they try to detonate an atomic bomb over the fucking atmosphere.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, the U.S. government has done some wild shit, bro. Like, come on, man. I'm not surprised, bro. They've done hella racist shit. They've done hella just. How many innocent people? Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
They've
that's
been like
true. That's true.
responsible for fucking killing. Like, shit, fucking no. Project A119, also known as a study of lunar research flights, was a top secret plan developed in 1958 by the United States Air Force. The aim of the project was to detonate a nuclear bomb on the moon, which would
That's
help in
crazy.
answering some of the mysteries in planetary astronomy and astrology. If the device explosive was detonated on the surface and not on our lunar crater, the flash of explosive light would have been faintly visible to people on Earth with their naked eye. This was meant to show a force resulting in possible boosting of domestic morale in the capitals of the United States, a boost that was needed after the Soviet Union took an early lead in the space race and was also working on a similar project. Wait. So what the fuck's the benefit?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the project never
I'm
carried
guessing it
out.
was to morale of the country, but
I'm scanning it real quick to see if executed, the plan might have led to the potential militarization of space. A similar project by the Soviet Union. How though? It's just gonna blow. What? I mean, I know in one of the Apollo missions, they literally dropped shit onto the moon's surface and measured the seismic waves, and they said it
right.
rang through it like a bell, but not ringing through it like the sound. Ringing through it meaning
Mm,
the way the waves are moving is as if it has a hollow center to it, and
yeah,
that would be the only kind of explanation that they would have. But scientists aren't claiming that the Earth is hollow, so it's kind of like the density of the moon is way lower than it should be apparently. So that's interesting. That goes into that hollow moon theory. Is that it was brought over here geoengineered because it's just so perfect, so perfectly aligned with everything. Because the distance between the sun to Earth is literally 400 times, or no, the moon is 400 times less than that. So the sun's 400 times more distance than the moon to the Earth than the sun to the Earth. So and it's also perfectly circular almost. So it
right.
perfectly lines up for our solar
With the
eclipse, and its rotation is just like its rotation is just weird. It's so. I'm gonna look up actually that rotation shit because I'm not gonna just sit here and say some stupid high shit. Because I'm not doing anything. I'm just a dummy. I'm literally just a dumbass. I'm just connecting some dots that I'm finding out interesting stuff that I'm reading about. So I guess you can call me an amateur researcher. All right. Yeah, man. Oh, fuck.
damn, you gonna drop your whole setup.
Yeah. Goddamn. Here we go. We're back in business.
But a real question: what alien civilization would really bring a moon for the Earth? Like
Oh, maybe one
if it was
starting an
built,
experiment. There are
right?
some theories that say that that humans either ate psychedelic mushrooms and it accelerated our brain evolution because there's a point in history where our brain size doubled. It's called the stoned ape theory. Let me look that up first, real quick for you, so I can get it up. I can't type, by the way. Stone tape theory. God damn it. Yep, there you go. I'm a dumbass. He believed that so Terence McKenna is I guess he's a founder of the belief. So he believed that psilocybin mushrooms are the evolutionary catalyst from which language, projective imagination, in the arts, in religion, philosophy, science, and all of human culture sprang. McKenna's hypothesis concerning the influence of psilocybin mushrooms on human evolution is known as the Stone Ape theory. So the critic, okay, so yeah, they say that they don't. The scientific community doesn't also criticizes them, and they the scientific community also has huge egos and shit. By the way, they're fucking annoying. But McKenna's stoned ape theory has not received attention from the scientific community and has been criticized for a lack of citation to any of the paleoanthropology. Oh my god, I cannot speak about this word. Holy shit. I'm saying it clear as day in my damn brain, and now I'm sitting here like, now how do I gotta move my mouth? Paleothrop. Okay, I'm gonna say it in breaks. Pale anthropological. Okay, whatever. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was terrible. It's like reading a new language. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of letters. All right, whatever. Blank evidence informing our understanding of human rights. His idea regarding psilocybin and visual acuity has been criticized as misrepresentations of Fisher's Fisher et al.'s findings, who published studies about visual perception in terms of various specific parameters. Not, I'm not even recording the fucking screen.
You're not recording the
Oh,
screen? Terrible, terrible,
God damn it!
terrible.
Oh my God, I'm
We're
so
already deep into a
stupid.
conversation.
Yeah, but I'm recording the audio. All right, sorry guys to everybody listening. You got to start somewhere, right? That's why this is one
Hey
of the
man,
first ones. Well, here we go. How you doing, Ricardo?
I'm good, man. How you
Well,
been?
I'm doing good. I'm not restarting, by the way.
Thank God.
We're gonna keep going.
Thank God.
Yeah. So
We're already in the
that's-
conversation.
I'm such a stupid man. I'm sorry. McKenna Stone ape theory has not received attention. Oh, I already read that. Um, Criticism has been expressed due to the fact that in a separate study on psilocybin-induced transformation of visual space, Fisher, all that's all. That's literally all it says. Fisher et al. I guess it's a different language, but I'm not saying it right. I'm butchering it. I'm sorry, man. Stated that psilocybin may not be conducive to the survival of the organism. Yeah. Okay. So pretty much he's saying that, like, the experience of the trip is what helped evolve, evolve, evolve the human consciousness. Evolve the brain.
Right.
That's when we started doing shit. Yeah. So also, there's another theory that says we're the product of accelerated evolution, which means that something came down and accelerated our evolution, engineered us to a degree. Probably came down and picked humans. I remember talking to this guy that was saying that, like, aliens came down and picked human beings and picked like primal no picked primates because we have thumbs, so we can express things way more. We can build and manipulate our environment better. So they came down
Right.
and then they accelerated us to give us higher consciousness for I don't know what reason, but that would be interesting. Holy
Jesus, man. Jesus.
Oh my God. I don't even know why that happened. I literally bumped the charger, right? And it fell out of the brick. So I was going down to grab it, and then the whole setup just fell. This is why I don't like this one, dog. It's because the stand is so flimsy. Yeah, this is
Hey,
a mess.
man.
Everybody
First
says
one
somewhere.
though. Flags.
This is literally the second podcast. This is how you do it. At least you're comfortable being on camera.
Hey, man.
Oh my God, dude! I'm
Terrible.
telling you.
Terrible.
I don't understand what is happening. There we go. Cool. I
You
fixed
got it
it.
working now? It's busting?
Yep. And I just gotta fucking plug it in. Cool. Yeah. So
All right, there we go.
it's the accelerate evolution. I just need to voice this thing. I'm like not gonna be able to sit here and type. I can't type for my life. Like if somebody put a gun up to my head and was like, "Yo, type this sentence," and it said onomatopoeia, you're on beat. Like
Onomatopoeia.
accelerate evolution. That was disgusting. All right. Accelerated evolution. Accelerated evolution in distinctive species reveals candidate elements for clinically relevant traits, including mutation and cancer resistance. That's cool. That's a different article though. So yeah, I mean the theory pretty much states that accelerated evolution in humans. All right. No, this is not it. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm like reading the screen. It's got a bunch of fucking. Here we go. It's got a bunch of articles on it. Accelerated evolution of the elect transport chain in arthropod primates. Actually, mitochondria are both the power. Okay, I'm not trying to read that. Mitochondria are both the power plant of the cell and central integrator of signal that govern the lifespan, replication, and death of the cell. What does that have to do with this?
Yeah, I was like, what? Why are you talking about the cells?
Yeah, and that's what I'm sitting here saying. Like, I clicked on the article. It's talking about how we're a fucking product of accelerated evolution. But whatever. It's just about that aliens could have done it. Who cares? Whatever. But what do you think, man? What are your thoughts?
But honestly, now not to branch it off to like another question, but if we're part of like an accelerated race and stuff like that, how we accelerated to a point where we're only using supposedly 10% of our brain? Like, why didn't we fully
Oh,
accelerate to like
that I
using
think.
like
Let me
50%?
clarify that because I know that like the fucking movie was like so inaccurate. That shit was just a movie, bro. But yeah, I mean, that was a human brain 20. The fact that we only use it's only that I think it's only that we can use 10% at each time or something like that. But we don't really understand our brains like that either. I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Human brain 10%. That's all I'm gonna look up.
Because what I'm thinking, if psychedelics really like help us connect to our consciousness and stuff like that, if we use 100% of our brain, would we need psychedelics?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Could you say that one more time for me?
I said if psychedelics help us to like connect to our consciousness and all that, if we use 100% of our brain, would we need psychedelics to reach our consciousness or connect to our consciousness?
That's an interesting question, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a fucking moron, so I can't really give you any good answers on that. What I would say, right, from me, Mike's, from my own thoughts and opinions, is that you know I believe that depending on the psychedelic you use, because like I would say that DMT kind of can put you back in that realm that we probably come from, or maybe can just take off the veils of to a certain dimension that we can like kind of enter into a new dimension, take off the veils and shit. You know what I mean? Remove the
Right.
curtain, and then I kind of getting that. Also, maybe like shrooms just kind of elevate your consciousness and forces you to like think in certain ways by giving you like certain things like an ego death. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Yeah.
thinking about the world in a sense of being in that type of place, like gives you a very interesting perspective that you can learn from. Gives you a very like yeah, I believe that shit like that kind of accelerates our mindsets though, because I believe that kind of the elevation of consciousness is what is ultimately the goal. And I believe that you have to do that through action and through all that shit. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's pretty interesting that I was talking to my one friend Zach that was
Mm,
saying about the morals of how he derived them from the universe because I'm that we can see and shit. Because I'm like, it's kind of really interesting because if there's like like saying like if you don't have a nose and somebody farted like Joe Rogan and them would say like how would you know that that shit there?
yeah.
It's like yeah, what if we just need to grow like an extra like our eyes just get a little bit more advanced or whatever the fuck we develop enough technology and then we can see into the other dimension and there are aliens or some shit like right there like demonic
Yeah.
entities or some like that would be crazy. That would be cool. That would be interesting. But who knows?
Facts.
I'm
Like,
an idiot.
cause that's crazy. Cause like, imagine using 100% of your brain, and you're able to see shit. Like, you're able to see everything. Like, to a point where you're able to see like the demons, and you can see all that just passing by, like on your regular day.
Yeah. So that 10% brain thing that you were saying earlier, it says the
Yeah.
10% of the brain myth, right? The 10% of the brain myth asserts that humans generally use only 10% or some small percentage of their brains. It has been misattributed to many celebrated people, notably Albert Einstein. By extrapolation, it suggests that a person harnessed the unused potential and increased intelligence. Changes in gray and white matter, following new experiences and learning have been shown, but it's not yet been proven what the changes are. The
Hmm.
popular notion that the large parts of the brain remain unused and could subsequently be activated rest in folklore and out science, though specific mechanisms regarding brain function remain to be fully described, e.g., memory consciousness, hmm, I'm sorry, I'm butchering that word. The sociology of brain mapping suggests that all areas of the brain have function and that they are used nearly all the time. So it's just, I guess it's just a myth. Yeah,
Hmm.
so I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. I don't know, man. I don't know what the limits of the human brain are. Like that's I feel like the human brain though. I feel like what humans are capable of in general is just crazy. I believe that like
Yeah.
where like your sense of identity, like you know what I'm saying? Like where do you lie in? Like is it your brain? Is it your heart? Like which part of you is you and where you lie at? Because like we all know that your cells die and they reproduce and shit. So you're not even the same literal human being that you were before. Because like, every cell back then has died off and
Right.
created a new one that you are
New
now.
ones.
So it's like, where do you reside at? I'm like, okay, huh. So I believe that we could probably like control more things about ourselves with elevating our consciousness. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely do. Because honestly, bro, the brain can do so much that we don't even comprehend on a daily basis. There's so
Yeah,
much we can there's so much that you could just think about that you can that- like there's so much. And we're just using it on the everyday to go to work, come home, play games, make food, sleep.
I think that part depends on your culture, and I definitely believe that the American culture is designed to spit out mush brain people that don't necessarily think about stuff like that. But not that it necessarily produces it. It's just tries to make you more likely to. It's like pointing everything about your world in one direction, so you're most likely going to go in it. But there are going to be some people are going to be like, well, what about the other way? Or who put this sign here? You know what I'm saying? Or why? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're just going to question shit. Become self aware. Be like, holy shit, I fucking exist. Let me wake up and do something with myself. Yeah, man. I don't understand that. But let me look this up too because that's crazy because I think that the US education system is actually based off of a certain program to make people more compliant and like factory worker type shit where it can let
I
like
believe
you can read and write and all that. But what were you saying?
I said I believe it, bro. Honestly, the things that you learn out of school is way more useful than what you learn in school. Because you could sit there and work and learn geometry, and the only time you ever use geometry is what construction, like squares and circles, triangles. Like you
Yeah.
don't really need that. Like you don't need to know like how to figure out the square, figure out like the square root of a square. Like why do I need that?
hmm
I'm not doing work just on squares. Like, that is
I
something
don't
we
even
never
remember.
need. Exactly. Like we blatantly forget that because that's something we never need, like at all. That trigonometry, sine, cosine, tangent. The last time you used that was in high school, and you've never read that again, never saw it again, never used it again. Honestly, what they need to start doing is like doing like stocks in high school, teaching people how to use stocks, how to how do they financially use their money right. Stuff like that would
Yeah,
be a lot more useful in high school.
I'm looking up to see if it's holy shit. Wait a minute. Soviet education under Lenin. It models U.S. education for new millennium based on quotations from the Russian books. This website's not secure, apparently. Oh man. All right. Well, I don't know about this then, but let's see. Let's see what it has to say though. Concerned
Same,
parents
bro.
and children around the world need to understand that today's global management system, which merges labor and lifelong learning with socialist ideology, physio-social manipulation, and high-tech monitoring. I believe that. And then we can take our stand, equip our children, and prepare for the future. All right, so the Dodsta Hopstata Scale. Following the eight All-Russian Congress of Soviets, 1920. A party conference was planned on a public education. Instruction should be linked with practical work with the problems of building socialism, which countries faced. That the range of knowledge should be taught in schools at each level should be determined in a new way. Mark Tucker, president of National Center on Education and the Economy, in a 1912 letter to Hillary Clinton. On 1912, I didn't mean to say that. 1992 letter to Hillary Clinton. We think the great opportunity you have is to remold the entire American system for human resources development, which is essential that we create a seamless web of opportunities to develop one's skills that literally extends from cradle to grave, and the same system for everybody, young, old, rich and poor, worker and full-time student. It needs to be a system driven by client needs, not agency regulations or the needs of the organization providing the services. Guided by clear standards that define the stages of the systems for the people who progress through it, and regulated on the basis of outcomes that providers produce for their clients, not inputs into the system. Damn. So didn't they have all the like fucking shit lined up? And holy crap, it's kind of funny. So look,
What?
state planning of the national economy. Like so. Oh, wait, okay. So the left side is Soviet education. The right side is workforce development in the U.S. Let me get a water bottle real quick. Sorry, buddy. This is probably a mess. All right, so yeah, the Soviet education's on the left, workforce development in the U.S. on the right, and it says so. The topic goal, the pedagogical legacy of Kripskaya, the founder of Soviet pedagogics, I guess, meets the objective needs of socialist society and is extremely valuable contribution to the theory and practices of educating the new man. And then on the workforce development in the U.S. side, our objective will require a change in the prevailing culture, the attitudes, values, norms, and accepted ways of doing things. Mark Tucker, the mastermind behind the Workforce Investment Act of 1998, the WIA, he is calling for a paradigm total. I'm sorry. He's calling for a paradigm shift, a total transformation in the way people think, believe, and perceive reality. I'm learning that I read completely shitty. Goddamn. But yeah, so I guess that kind of relates in a way. Really, I don't know, because it has a link on it, but I'm not trying to click on that. That's wild. So let me see if I can find something that's more here. Labor. So Soviet education, 1932. The Society of Marxist Pedagogues considers the question of vocational orientation and choosing an occupation and component part of making the school polytechnical. They consider the introduction of polytechnical education to the schools a major part of the struggle for socialism. And then on the U.S. side, a renewed federal focus on youth challenges local communities to achieve a level of collaboration that brings together local forces, training providers, schools, community organizations, businesses, and others in an effort to develop an overall youth training and employment systems, including improved linkage with local labor and market needs. Local youth programs will be linked more loosely to local labor camp needs. Sorry, I thought the sentence was going to end because they have it tabbed off, very weird. So I thought it ended, and then it was actually all the way on the other side again. So what the fuck? But yeah, so this is pretty much saying kind of the same thing in a sense. But I mean, I don't really know. I'm a dumbass. I'll be real. So what I'm getting from it is that this is kind of like using the skeleton to really kind of create some of the U.S. systems that we have. But I mean,
Yeah.
hey, the reason I believe that they would some of them would probably do it is for money or their own personal benefit until it starts to collapse in front of them. 'Cause that's usually what happens. Everything peaks, and then boom, it's like that.
I
Man,
mean,
that's wild.
that's yeah, facts. Who
I
would have thought that they would have used the Soviet Union to like really base our education on it?
mean, honestly, shit. I mean, yeah, man. I believe that they would do some pretty shitty things. Like they already blow up people for no reason, and like do commit atrocities and just it's terrible what our government does. To everybody who
That's
doesn't
true.
know, I'm just gonna say I'm a libertarian. You know, so I base a lot of my beliefs off of that, off my values, off my personal values. And I just believe that, yeah, our government is fucked up. That's why I'm like, man, if our moon was hollow and it had like aliens in it, that would be really humbling to our U.S. government, unless they're in like cohesion with them and shit, which they probably are, to be honest with you.
I believe
It's
it.
like,
I would believe it.
let's be honest with you, man. Pentagon releases UFO footage from like 2001 and three. Like, what the fuck, bruh? That was
That
definitely
was 20 years.
scripted.
That was 2 decades ago.
Exactly. And then they're saying that that shit happens every day. It's like, what the hell, bro? What the hell? Like, what's going on here? You know what's crazy? I believe that at one point in time we were a global civilization, and then we faced a cataclysmic event, and I believe that reset us. And then the survivors of that, this is kind of based. Look, I'm saying like a lot of Graham Hancock stuff. So those survivors of that civilization kind of go back to the hunter and gatherer groups and kind of just
Mm,
rebuild and kind of try to restart. And then they face another cataclysmic event, and then rebuild again. That's what I believe. So I believe humans have a deeper history to a lot of shit. So I'm like, yeah, what if we were advanced enough to a point where like we had contact with like, what if we were in the cosmos, traveling around, had contact with aliens, or even had maybe they're us. Like, what if they're us and we just got faced with like a comet or a nuclear or something like that to hit us, and
mm.
boom, we got reset, and the people over and the guys above us like just that'd be funny. Actually, no, that probably wouldn't be the case because why the fuck would he not help out at all? Yeah, that's pretty funny. But yeah, man. I mean, look, I believe that there are probably aliens out there that've had influence over time. Like the Earth is like 6.9 billion years old. You can't tell me. I'm pretty sure it's 6.9 billion years old. I'm not making any claims here like that, but I mean, you can't tell me that aliens haven't been here, and you can't tell me that our history is just 6,000 years old. Like, come on,
Right.
that doesn't.
So honestly,
Not
bro,
to me.
honestly, I think that a lot of the before before not before our time, but like a lot of unknown knowledge is honestly locked up under the Vatican. Have you heard about that?
Yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
Vatican holds like old scripture and old books and old knowledge from years before, and they have it locked away where no one can read it.
The there's probably like the Book of Enoch and all that shit down there too. It talks about
Probably.
giants and all that shit. And the Vatican also has like is like designed kind of like a serpent. The
Yeah,
Vatican room.
yeah.
That shit's wild. That's very weird. Yeah, man. They probably because I believe that that's probably where all the knowledge is that they kind of store to control like the Christianity views. Because I believe that it doesn't matter what it is, government, church, state, whatever it is. I don't who fucking cares whatever religion it is or whatever that's dominating at the time. It's power that they all are going for. It's the
Well,
same thing.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I believe that things now like what we're dealing with is not just like, oh yeah, this is kind of what life is. It's cool, right? It's okay. Like, no, we're born into a world that's been designed from generations of shit going on, and we don't even know everything that goes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still discover shit now, and we're like, this is completely unexplainable. Like, come on,
Yeah.
like all of the amount of structure that we find, and we're like, we have no idea how they did this. Like the fucking pyramids. The pyramids now have been pretty. I pretty look. I'm gonna look this up because I'm not gonna. I really don't want to speak bad on this, but I'm pretty sure it was proven that the pyramids were proven to be from prehistoric age now. Like they just predate so much shit. It's like what? Like there's no hieroglyphs in Egyptian history for them. Like it just doesn't make sense. It's kind of
Right.
like wow, these literally are probably the remnants of the global civilization that we had. And Atlantis
That's
was
true.
probably in the city of not the city. The Atlantis was probably in the eye of the Sahara Desert. The Rakat structure. That was probably it because that's just the bedrock. So it's like anything that was there was just gone, completely
Right.
gone. Because there was proven to be kind of like flooding, shit, all this shit. So, and I think that I was listening to a podcast, right? And
Mm.
or well, a radio show, and it was this guy on that was saying like that we had some text in some Indian in India somewhere. I forgot where it was at. I got to look it up and look up what he was talking about because he was saying that there were like scriptures there that were talking about how we were into an interstellar war. Now there's like 400 distinct alien species, and how the Earth or like Mars is a result, like the way Mars looks as a result of this of the war. I mean, it's just wild. I'm like, what the fuck? But then I'm sitting here looking up like, well, we also have a confirmed like UFOs, like
Right.
pyramid UFOs flying around like Tic Tacs, like with gravity propulsion systems. It's like what the, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, reality, like wow. What do you think though? I've been talking for a minute.
Nah, bro. I agree with pretty much what you're saying, man. Because honestly, like that can about like seeing Mars being like a being how it is, like because of the war. That's crazy, and I wouldn't be surprised because we see supposedly what they said is that we walk past an alien, a regular person can walk past the alien and never recognize it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, man.
it
There's
might be true.
there's this one story that I heard about. I was listening to on a YouTube video actually, but it was a story about an alien that came from Venus named something valid. It started with a V. Valid Val Thor, something like that. Valid Val Thor, I believe. Let me look this up. Valor Val Thor. Probably butchering it, but it should come up.
Kind of makes me want to look at my own research, pull up my laptop.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? I'm just gonna look at the pyramid thing instead. My bad, because
You good,
I don't
you
want
good.
to that up. Okay. So pyramids of Giza. Man, that's crazy the way they say they were built with bronze chisels and shit. Like, when like the all the methods that they say that they use to like cut the stones to get them as tight as they are for a razor blade nor a pin to be able to fit between it. It's
Right.
watertight. It's like, bro, they'll get like string and try to do it. They'll get like bronze chisels and try and chisel at it, and like they always have to like after the guy literally said after 12 hits they had to reshape the fucking thing. So it's like dink,
That's
dink, dink,
crazy.
dink, dink, and it were like it hurts and shit. And the amount of work that they were doing was like very, very little. After like 4 days, the guy got through like this much of the limestone. That was like
Mm,
legitimately like probably like this looks like a 3D
that's
structure.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and it was like no, that's no, and you weren't. It wasn't even like leveled as much as it was. Like the pyramid bricks are like smooth. It's wild. It's like, bro, they had technology. I'm sorry. I believe that they probably did.
I forgot what I was supposed to look up. What was I looking
I'm
up?
looking up the pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Giza, see if it's prehistoric because of all the recent discovery. I want to look at recent
Oh, I'll look up
discovery.
the alien from Venus.
An ancient, actually no, it doesn't. Fuck out of here. I saw that big clickbait article.
NBC.
Secret void in the largest pyramid in Giza has been revealed thanks to some space age technology. Let me see what this is. Yeah, the way the chambers are set up, man, it's crazy. It's like this is not a tomb, dog. They all say they're tombs, and they're not tombs.
Right. I gotta get that little engine that you run. What is it? Duck Goose.
DuckDuckGo.
Yeah,
You can get it on your phone or add it to your computer.
I'm gonna need that
Like it
because
just doesn't filter your results the way Google does. So you'll get like
Because
way more shit.
Google's just telling me it's their life, and I want the alien from Venus. Like that's what I want.
Why did it take me to a printer website? What the heck? All right, whatever. So, the heck? Void within Great Pyramid of Giza, not a new discovery. Huh. Let me see what Graham Hancock was saying. So I'm just gonna look up Graham Hancock.
First clear discovery of life beyond the Earth. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm not gonna find the article about aliens because honestly, what they've been putting out is that basic life forms can live on other planets, like basic amoebas, basic, bacteria, single cell bacteria. The only thing that can survive on other planets, and that's a lie. Like that has to be a lie to an extent.
You know that the space station actually had bacteria on the side of it, and they were debating on whether or not it came from Earth or if it collected when they were in space.
Mm.
Mm, damn. Sorry, my bad.
Now,
But
honestly, I think it has to be from
I'm gonna look
space
that up as well.
because the space station. I don't know. It could be from Earth, but going through the atmosphere and like at a high speed, wouldn't they just burn away?
I mean, maybe, but I mean, we've had shit survive a lot worse too, like
That's true.
bacteria
You're right.
survive in nuclear areas and actually be thriving.
You're right.
I got a lot of things I'm trying to look up. Yep, here we go. Previously unknown bacteria discovered on the space station could help grow plants.
Could
Wait,
help.
what? After serving as a home away from astronauts for the last 20 years, the space station has become one of the hosts for un- unique bacteria inhabitants, and these microbes could prove useful. Four strains of bacteria, three of which were previously unknown to science, have been found on the space station. They may be used to help grow plants during long-term space flight missions in the future. The study published on Monday in the journal Frontiers in Microbiology. The space station is a unique environment because it has been entirely isolated from Earth for years, so a multitude of experiments have been used to study what kind of bacteria is present there. Holy shit, that's pretty cool. And
Facts.
this was March 6th, 2021. Yeah, man.
Oh,
So
wow, that's recent.
bacteria
Okay.
survive back either way. If it came from Earth, either way, that's amazing. It survived
Yeah,
out there on. I'm not gonna read any more in this article because that's it for right now. But that's actually fucking mind blowing. Like,
that's
dude, there
crazy.
has to be fucking life out there somewhere.
I'm saying it has to be. So now to attack another question, do you think since we talked about that that the world was in a how'd you call it? I forgot that we was like a one nation type thing. I forgot. Do you
Global
think
civilization.
global civilization? There we go. Do you think that Do you think there are humans out in the universe traveling the universe right now?
No. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe there are humans somewhere else that. If I don't know if we can call them humans anymore though. Like there's a thing Joe Rogan keeps saying, which is pretty cool that I like. That what if aliens are what we become, like, as we advance in technology, because technology kind of has a symbiotic relationship with us because we advance it along with ourselves. So what
Yeah,
if we kind of, as we get with it more, we lose things like the things that hold us back, like our physical biology, like our limiting bodies, getting rid of certain things like not sexual pleasure, but like I believe getting rid of like all some sex,
whoa,
no way to, what I'm saying, have that just kind of
yeah,
distract you. You can just be more intelligent. You know what I'm saying? To get more light, get more small. I mean, I'm completely butchering what he's saying because I mean he didn't say it like that at all. Just like these sexless things, these sexless like short, stubby but bigger heads because your brain's bigger.
yeah, yeah.
You lose certain fingers because you don't need them. big. I don't know. That's just kind of how we would probably. I don't know. He was saying that maybe could be the distant future of what our evolution could be. So what if they are us in the distant future?
That'd be
What
crazy.
if we were once a global civilization? What if we went out? What if we had interstellar shit? Because there's obviously, look, the Sumerians calendar is what we base our calendar off of today, which
Yeah,
requires knowledge about about the cosmos.
yeah, about the
So
stars and
how
shit.
did you like the rotation of the Earth, the Moon, the Sun
How did
around?
you know
It's like
about that?
how the fuck how? And they're supposed to be the first civilization 6,000 years ago. Get the fuck
That's
out
a
of
good
here.
point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's like, come on, man. If we were a global civilization that had like going out into space, what if a branch of humanity went out and continued to evolve and shit, and then they coming back, and they
And
could
then
be playing God or any of these type of things? Because I believe that at one point in time that maybe we had like these temples that we have that we find and shit that like for instance there are some temples that the some stores
historians.
historians. I know. I'm sorry. When I get high, it's hard for me to talk sometimes. So there are some buildings, some temples that some historians give credit to the Romans for building, which are pretty much impossible for them to build. And in the way
Mm.
that they're built, there's like a pillar, right, where the base block is it just. I would look it up right now, but I don't even feel like it, so I'm just gonna butcher this story completely. But the base block's just
It's a
built in
Roman
a certain
temple.
way where, yeah, it's a Roman. Well, I have this Pyramid of Giza thing pulled up, but I'll read it after this. So the Roman temple. I'll see if I can send you the video too. But
Is it
the Roman,
it's the most famous one, right? With like the
it's got bricks at the bottom of it that are like, well, not necessarily bricks, but the foundations of like these pillars are like fucking fat as shit. I wasn't looking
yeah.
at it. My problem was I was listening to the audio of it when I had my phone off. So let me just go straight to the to my history, so I can figure out what the name of them are. My bad. But yeah, so the way Graham Hancock had said it was they were like, man, if they couldn't move these bricks up here to here or whatever the fuck, why didn't they just cut them in a certain way to make them applicable? Like, you don't think
Right.
they were more intelligent enough to be able to just do that? But I'm not even saying the story right, so it's very, very weird. Here we go. Ancient Rome did not build this part two. Shout out to Bright Insight, by the way. Go subscribe to him. He's a great motherfucker for information. Massive, massive stones of Baalbek, Lebanon, the Temple of Jupiter, and the Temple of Bacchus. You get that?
You said the Temple of Jupiter.
Here, I can literally just copy and paste it for myself as well if you want me to. Here you go.
Oh, this one. Okay, I see it. I see it. Optimus Maximus. Yeah.
Space station bacteria. That's crazy, man. Bacteria in space. That's wild. All right. Temple of Jupiter. Yeah, dude. This shit, like how?
Yeah, bro, I don't even. I don't
I
even know,
mean,
man.
I don't want to say that it's absolutely impossible, but let me see. Let me
But
see
like,
what photos.
if it's ancient civilization like Romans, and that's like hard.
Yeah, holy shit, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, look up a picture of it compared to a person. Or see if you can find a picture of a person next to the pillar. If I could share my screen, I would, but I'm on my phone. I got my phone set up different. I'll be able to do that shit in the future, everybody. Mm-mm. See if I can find it. All right, man. But
How big is the Temple
these
of Jupiter? 30
dude,
meters high.
it's crazy high, dog. This like how what like what? I
That's what
mean,
I'm
but what are
saying.
we
Like,
saying? We're dummies.
how do how do they get that? Like, how do they get it up?
How did they build that shit?
Like, there's no way they built that without like a crane or a pulley or something. Like,
Mystery of the
that's
Stones, how Lebanon's Baalbek ruins are a sight for the gods. But before I read that, I'm gonna read the thing I was saying about the Pyramid of Giza before I get out there.
Good,
There has
good.
been an innumerable quantity of books. This is by Grant Hancock, by the way. There has been an innumerable quantity of books written about the construction of the Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. So too has been many number of different theories on how the construction of the pyramids was accomplished, with each new or expanded theory accompanied by a description stating that it was definitive solution or the puzzle finally solved. Oh fuck! I just knocked over all my rubbing alcohol. Or the puzzle finally solved, etc. Of late, a few authors have focused on the inner internal ramp solution as being the most plausible explanation on how the ancient Egyptians built the Great Pyramid. Indeed, some archaeologists have also acclaimed that this internal ramp solution as a creative explanation for this age, for this ages-old construction mystery. Most archaeologists, however, lack the technical training or understanding of the nature of structural forces to make a qualified endorsement of this proposed solution. So he's saying that this is not how they did it. So this pyramid appears down here. He says this pyramid appears to be the final evolution of a pyramid building that evolved from the mud brick matabis, which were supposedly the resting place of important dignitaries. The Great Pyramid has only one quatorze above the king's chamber that purports to indicate that it is in the burial chamber of Khufu. This pyramid was covered with smooth white casting stones that partially collapsed after a severe earthquake and were later used to quarry to construct the building in Syria, notably the mosques and the madrasa of Sultan Hassan, completed in 1359. Man, that's wild. Some of the stones contained hieroglyphs. The Greek historians Herodotus claims to have seen the Great Pyramid before the casting stones were removed. Huh. This is the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So he has a whole. Oh, wait a minute. So I'm reading this. I'm reading the top of it. Let me just get down to the bottom of what he's actually saying about it. So, because that was like I was. This is too much to read all in one. Like I'm not reading the book right now, but yeah. So what he's saying is what their opinions are, and then the contradictions to it. And
Mm.
he's saying by even a conservative calculation, core stones for the pyramid had to be delivered every minute and returning the timber sleds to have been recycled down the same internal ramp. This would not be possible within such a confined spaces as an internal ramp. Okay. So internal ramp is two-dimensionally restrictive and requires a high level of specialized stone masonry when construction duration may have been a strong or real consideration. In reviewing other rational approaches to building a pyramid, a combination of outside earthing ramps and exterior ledge ramps should be considered. The external ramp approach should not be discounted so quickly by those who are infatuated by the new and novel internal ramp solution. Wow, that's crazy. So in his summary, he's saying that in his summary down below it, he's saying pretty much as I scan it that we don't know how they're built, and obviously what they're saying could not be what it is. So yeah, he's pretty much he's literally saying like he's debunking what they're saying and saying like no, that doesn't make sense, and
Right.
we just clearly don't understand it. It's clearly more advanced than we are
It has
now.
to be.
That's crazy. That is
Because
crazy.
honestly, I'm looking it up right now, and they're talking about how it made from like mud brick, but they've made that out of mud brick.
No, I think
Like,
there's like limestone and like there's different stones in it, but like the stones that they were built from had to be traveled like hundreds of miles or like certain like miles. But it's like, bro, these bricks are like 10 tons. Like what the fuck, bro? Like
nigga, how
you know
they
what I'm
carry?
saying?
Ain't no way
Yeah,
there's
like
30
that
people
doesn't even.
carrying a 10-ton
You
brick.
think more primitive people than us when we have cell phones? We're like, yeah, we're gonna just push it or get ropes and pull it or get oxes to pull it while we do that. Like, no, they didn't do that. Like, I don't believe they did that shit. Like, come on, bro. I don't believe they did that. Like, from my standpoint, that just sounds stupid. Like, that just is like, no, bro. But I'm also a moron, so my opinion also doesn't mean that much. But yeah, man. Back to the mystery of that burial site. Kind of just like the Pyramid of Giza, where they're like, "What the fuck? How they build it?" Obviously,
That's
this property it shows signs of being like So what probably happened throughout history, right? Let's say like something happens to a civilization, there are remains that are left, and then another civilization comes over and builds on
and
top
picks
of the
it up.
remains. Yep,
Yeah,
and builds on top of it. So then there's two different kind of histories going on there, and
right.
then maybe they both collapse afterwards, or not both collapse. The one that's on top of it then collapses, and then we find the remains, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna give them credit for it, like the Egyptians with pyramids. It's like, bro, no, pyramids are all across the world. Like, explain that, and explain why the Pyramid of Giza is literally on like the perfect landmass of the world. Cool, like geological perfect. That makes
Yeah,
no sense. And more advanced knowledge than we think.
I'm saying, man, people, somebody had to help us.
There's a lot of subjects we're talking upon, and I, but we'll get more into them as we do more podcasts, as we
Yeah,
do more stuff, more just conversations about anything, man. We just love talking about anything right now.
yeah, man. I'm always down to learn something new. And my brain is working right now, man. Cause that's
I'm gonna look up ancient civilizations with aliens,
with
or
alien.
ancient aliens.
Honestly, I think they go back. Isn't like the oldest civilization that we know of, like the Aztecs and Mayans,
No, I think it's the Sumerians.
Sumerians.
Look it up, bro.
That's what I'm about to do. Yeah, this the Sumerian
Ancient,
civilization.
bro. Look, I would. Are you on DuckDuckGo?
No.
10. Okay. So I just went on there and then I went and then I went on DuckDuckGo and I typed in ancient civilizations and aliens. 10
Mm,
evidences to prove um the existence of the ancient. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. Proof of aliens' life. 10 evidences. 10 evidences to prove the existence of the ancient civilizations aliens. All right. Since the beginning of the world, many civilizations have come up, some of which have left remarkable artifacts. Some intrigue the modern man with their impeccable engineering and architectural skills. Looking at the unbelievable works of planning and engineering that those ancient people managed without the use of any modern technology, it is hard to believe that they built such huge civilizations all by themselves. There has been there had to have been some additional powers or skills that either guided the ancient men to build such huge civilizations or that built the civilizations themselves. What could be the
right.
source of the additional power and skill, gods or aliens? While the religious sect of the people would tend to believe that it was God who helped, the proponents of the ancient alien theory says that it was aliens who were deemed as gods those days, and it was beyond doubt the aliens who played a major role behind the building of such mighty civilizations. There have been many evidences that they are produced by these theorists as well. And the following part of the article and the account of those evidences are discussed. So I'm going to just say this real quick as well. I've definitely heard some shit from this guy on the
Mm,
radio talk that I'm going to load up as well later on, and I'll elaborate on that more when I get that. But he was pretty much saying that the interstellar war left humanity in a reset position, I believe, and then that
mm,
or after that cataclysmic event, it was like that. But then the aliens that were here also presented themselves in a godlike fashion. So we
mm.
treated them as gods. But then there was a whole war or yeah, I'm sorry, I'm butchering this. I think I'm saying it backwards. The whole beginning that I was saying, fuck that. So pretty much, aliens came down when we got reset in a sense, and they kind of
Right.
sent themselves as like a godlike scent in a godlike fashion. So they were treated like gods and all this shit, worship, blah blah blah. And then they ended up losing whatever happened. They lost that perception and lost power. Lost that perception and lost power.
Mm,
And then the scales flipped. And now, honestly, to be honest with you, if it's like, oh well, people are like, oh well, they would, that couldn't have happened. Like, where the fuck are they now? And blah blah blah. It's like UFOs have been here since 2003, and we didn't, and you weren't even like people that are saying like you didn't even want to say that until they fucking confirmed it.
right.
So it's like How do you actually know that? They're not going to be showing up at your door. They don't give a fuck about you. Who knows about that? I mean, I just probably sound like some conspiracy theories or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, why would they give a fuck about your day to day life and all that shit? Like, they
Yeah,
wouldn't. They would be
they
doing what they do.
do what they
Probably,
do. They regularly
if
do.
they lost power, they're probably in the moon. If the moon is hollow, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a theory.
Yeah,
I could say that they're probably over there, just over there, like kind of like monitoring Earth, traveling back and forth whenever they need to, just probing. Let me say probing, but like just kind of like observing and all this shit, just doing whatever they need to do, or whoever the fuck knows, and then going up there and then going into the oceans or whatever the fuck, and maybe they're talking to the U.S. government. Who knows? Or any other world government? Because why aren't any other world governments on the moon? Why haven't they
right.
had a space? Any? Why haven't they gone to the moon? The Chinese have sent a rover onto the dark side of the moon. But like, come on, man. Who knows? Who knows about the unknown? We know our lives are definitely sheltered.
Yeah, that's the thoughts of the people who like are in power. Like they actually get to
Oh
meet
shit!
supposedly these aliens. Like that's crazy.
I'm looking. Holy shit!
What's up, man? What's up?
Oh, that actually looks like Atlantis. I'm looking at this website's evidences for aliens being a part of ancient civilizations
Mm,
with pyramids, and then he's saying Atlantis, evidence 10, the description of colossal structures in the lost city of Atlantis. I believe it was in North Africa, like I told you, because
right.
the city of Rakat, or the city of Rakat. I keep saying that shit. The Eye of the Sahara Desert also looks like this other picture that he's showing evidence for. The Mu civilization is considered to be first civilization that existed 78,000 years ago and lasted for 52,000 years. The civilization was governed by excellent science of government, which is believed to be more advanced than even today's era. Ancient man with underdeveloped brains would could certainly not have devised such governance mechanisms like that unless he was externally by the aliens. What? Okay, that's kind of a large claim because I wouldn't believe that just because we have ancient technology doesn't equal aliens. It could just equal us being more smart than we think, or us
Right.
having just like Graham Hancock says, us being a species with amnesia. But yeah, this what did Atlantis say? The description of colossal structures in the lost city of Atlantis of the utopian civilization, as found in Plato's account, forces people to believe that constructing such gigantic structures was simply out of question within the limited technology that man had at those times. It had to be the aliens' intellect and skills that have built something as mammoth as that. What? What, bro? That's my
They
only
could be
comment.
teaming with ocean worlds. What? That's a totally different type of subject.
Yeah, this guy's kind of a kook, a little bit of a kook, just a little bit. But look at this picture. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna send it to you. I'm not gonna virus. But there's this hieroglyph that shows it depicts these images. I'm gonna see if I can go on Discord and screen share right now. Actually,
I just love space. Learning stuff about space is just so interesting,
here
bro.
I'm gonna send it to the chat. I'm gonna send the link to the chat, and if you want to click on it, you can. But immediately go to evidence 3 and look at that picture.
You gonna send it to me? My phone gonna get hacked. The whole
No. I'm
podcast gonna
sending
get
it to the
taken over.
Discord.
Oh,
I'm sending it to the Discord chat. It's a normal website. It just didn't show up on normal Google because Google was not going to promote this post likely. It probably doesn't get that much attention,
right.
obviously, because this guy sounds weird. But the hieroglyph he has, it says the Indian epic speaks of people with divine powers, flying machines, and deadly weapons who were part of daily life of the ancient Indians about 3 to 4 thousand years ago. Contemporary humans by no means could have access to such high technology, and only if they didn't have aliens amongst them helping them build the civilization. That would be interesting. I mean, I believe aliens were probably here, and all that shit, and that when they had like a power structure on humans, but then we thought about it and we had like philosophy, not philosophy like necessarily, but we just had the power of thinking about it and
Yeah.
having a code of morality because we have a conception of human rights. So I believe that the experience of living as a human being is unique to life. most likely, to a
Yeah.
degree. And I believe that maybe there's a reason that humans exist. Maybe aliens are trying to design, or not maybe design, but guide us in a sense so that we can learn lessons, because maybe our consciousness that we tune into needs to learn certain things. Maybe like our soul or whatever has to keep coming back to learn new things. And aliens are a part of it. Maybe being an alien is just like another stage after this. Like what if after learning as many things as you possibly could learn here in your last
You go
life,
you
you
you go to
become an
another
alien,
planet.
or you go to another planet. Yeah, or you go to another
Yeah.
planet to learn shit over there. That would be cool. That's a cool
That would that,
concept.
that is a cool concept. Cause yeah. I've heard that I heard before that aliens have came down and supposedly helped us with a lot of things. That's why I think like the pyramid of Giza and stuff like that. They helped us and showed us how to do certain things, like how we knew about the stars aligned and all that. Like somebody had to come down and tell us. There's no way we looked up and like, okay, that clearly just works. Like Saturn and them aligned somehow. Like somebody had to come down and tell us how all of that happened and how that works.
So on this whole kind of website or thing set up, it's also on Amazon Prime that you can add on. I think it's pretty cool.
Gotcha.
It's called Gaia, and I think you should check it out because it's where a friend of mine gets a lot of like spiritual information and all this shit. But I think it's pretty cool because like a lot of things like that they'll say, not necessarily them, like are they, but he said like we've talked about a lot of topics that just kind of sound crazy, but as time went on, they kind of unfolded to turn out to be
Seriously,
true, and it's like what
yeah.
the fuck. So I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at it like, man, this is pretty wild. These are a bunch of videos, and it wants me to do like a subscription. I thought this was okay. All I can tell you that Operation Paperclip. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't think so.
So that's when the U.S. government went in after World War II ended and pretty much took in the Nazis. When the Soviet Union did the same thing, they went in and they took in a bunch of Nazis that were scientists
Mm,
because we wanted to accelerate our own shit because they had pretty advanced technology as well. So
yeah.
like the Nazis did. So we wanted their scientists so that we can get that shit. And the head of NASA at the time, if you look it up right now, Warner von Braun is actually like the head of NASA at one point in leading the exploration to the moon. And the
Oh,
crazy part
really?
about it was that at the facility he worked at in the Nazi camps, or at the Nazi facility he worked at, I believe it was a labor camp, and they would hang the slowest working Jews every day to get
Oh my
everybody
God.
else to move. So it's like if he was alive today, he would be prosecuted, you know, like terribly. But this nigga was
Yeah.
running the fucking NASA shit. It's like, bro, there's corruption everywhere. Like if not like if he ran NASA and they're just now saying we had UFOs, the Nazis probably knew. Like I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but this probably runs
Honestly,
really deep. Like you know what
they
I'm
know
saying?
it.
Like
Yeah.
history is written by the people who win, and then we learn about the shit they want us to learn about. So there's
Yeah.
probably a whole world of things that we don't know. I'm gonna look up Nazis and aliens and see what happens on DuckDuckGo. I'm gonna probably go down a fat tunnel of shit I don't
Cause,
want to. But after this,
cause,
we can hop off.
right. Cause honestly, bro, I think they've been like subliminally. Am I saying that right? Subliminal. They've been putting that the Nazis have science like way like farther ahead of us, and like little things like the Marvel movies. The Nazis well during like Captain America, the Nazis had very advanced technology. Now that may be like a hoax or whatever, but it could also be very much true. Like they had stuff like that, like not like what's it called, like superhuman medicine and all that. But like
Yeah.
the Nazis could have had spaceships hiding back there. They could have had rocket ships hiding back there, and they could have had plans sitting there that we just never, just opened up and gave to the world.
So I just found this article written by this person. That doesn't mean it's true though, but it's written in 2014. It
Mm,
says rumors have existed that at the end of the Second World War that Hitler had either developed flying saucers or had reverse engineered alien saucers that the Nazis had captured. Now recent evidence point to an even more sinister event that Hitler met with an alien visitor on a number of occasions. So in a sense, what if alien would still mean like people that like are beings or entities from another dimension? So there also
yeah,
is like people that do experiments and reports on the psychedelic realms, like the DMT realm and shit like that. So what if they met like aliens in those type of realms? That could also be this. Like that, I believe that could also be connected. Like that could also be where this is coming from as well. But let me keep
Okay.
reading.
Okay.
When Adolf Hitler spread his message of hatred, genocide, and oppression, and having been inspired by a blonde race of superhumans, warriors referred to as Aryans, it is assumed through historical accounts that this was simply contrived mythology of a madman. The same accounts admit represent. If you actually the psychology of Hitler is very, very interesting. I mean, I wanted to get into it to understand because I believe
Mm,
understanding is the best way to conquer over, to get over. Because it's like, where did he get this from? Like, where, like
right.
that, like a lot of shit. I heard he believed in like scientific evolution, like scientific racism. The theory that there are subsequent races of human beings and shit. It's kind of like a little bit into it where it's like Caucasoid. I know I don't believe that's a part of it, but like there's Caucasoids, Negroids, like Mongoloids, and all this shit. Mongoloids are like Asians. Caucasoids
Mm.
are obviously like more whiter people, and then Negroids are blacks and shit. And it's like okay, and I'm like all right, okay, like all right, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I heard
Yeah.
that one time, and I looked it up, and I actually saw like it's actually like terms, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, come on. Yeah, so this is saying I'm reading it now though because I don't want to just read all of it out loud because I'm gonna have to drink so much water. So this is saying that yeah, he probably met in an alien, and then they probably reverse engineered some UFOs and shit at one point, and that's
Yeah.
probably some advancements that they were doing. But the evidence that this says right here, did Hitler meet ET? The evidence that he escaped Berlin. Hitler did not really commit suicide, as some official points have suggested. In 1952, Dwight D. Eisenhower said, "We have been unable to unearth one bit of tangible evidence of Hitler's death. Many people believe that Hitler escaped from Berlin." When President Truman asked Joseph Stalin at the Potsdam Conference in 1945, whether or not Hitler was dead, Stalin replied bluntly, "No." Stalin's top officer replied, or officer, our top army officer, Marshal Gregory Zhukov, whose troops were the ones to occupy Berlin, flatly stated after a long, thorough investigation in 1945, "We have found no corpse that could be Hitler's." The chief of the U.S. Trial Council at Nuremberg, Thomas J. Dodd, said, "No one can say he's dead. He is dead." Major General Floyd Parks, who was commanding general of the U.S. sector in Berlin, stated for publication that he had been present. What? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading this word so wrong. That he had been present when Marshal Zhukov described his interest in Berlin, and Zhukov stated that Hitler might have escaped. Huh.
I've
Yeah,
honestly heard that Hitler escaped. Like I've heard multiple
these are all
heard multiple
quotes.
multiple stories from that. Like I honestly heard that Hitler may be in Antarctica or the North Pole, one of the poles, and he's down there with aliens, like down there just
Yeah,
living life with aliens.
probably. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, bro. The way it should, I mean, I would say probably. I don't know. That's like just the world. Reality is just. I believe reality is obviously not what it seems, and I believe I just want to be able to explore it. Like that's crazy.
Like that's
I just typed
so.
in one of the quotes to even see this is true,
Mm,
and I'm getting some conspiracy theories. Uh, Ike and Stalin believe Hitler didn't die in Berlin, and this is a conversation on a Google group. The Omega file. I remember. What is the Omega file? This guy just
what's
literally dropped a bunch of like. He just. This man literally just dropped a fat quote.
what?
Holy shit! Wait a minute. Wait, whoa, whoa, look, 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 look. I remember hearing in the 1950s rumors that Hitler had escaped to a secret. Not. This is from. I think this is from. Oh my god. I remember hearing in the 1950s rumors that Hitler had escaped to a secret Nazi base at the South Pole. In 1952, Dwight D. Eisenhower said, "We have been unable to unearth one but tangible evidence of Hitler's death." Many people believe that Hitler escaped from Berlin. When President Truman asked Joseph Stalin at the Potsdam Conference in 1945 whether or not Hitler was dead, Stalin replied bluntly, "No." Like, okay, I already read this. No, top Stalin's officer, Marshal Gregory. Okay,
That's crazy.
but hold on a second. It then goes, yeah, okay. I'm gonna skip to the part where No human being can concisely say that Hitler is dead. Cole W.G. Helmich, former Eisenhower in the European invasion and later director of CIA, stated publicly on October 12, 1945. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, no human being can say conclusively that Hitler is dead. So I just read the beginning of that statement again. Cole W.G. Helmich, former chief of the United States intelligence at Berlin, stated for publication that he was in charge of determining what had happened to Hitler. After a long and thorough investigation, his report was there was no evidence beyond that of heresy to support the theory of Hitler's suicide. He also stated, on the basis of present evidence, no insurance company in America would pay a claim on Adolf Hitler. So he's pretty much saying this man didn't kill himself. Like if you
Kill
try to
himself.
say
Yeah.
you try to see him kill himself, you can't file a claim on this bullshit, bro. Where's his body? Where's the evidence? Where's the shit? Like, come on, bro. That's funny.
Oh my
Damn.
goodness! Wow.
Nuremberg judge Michael Muzman Mano said in his book, 10 Days to Die, Russia must accept much of the blame to extent that it still exists, that Hitler did not die in May 1945. Yeah, I believe he didn't die that day. I'll be flat honest with you. But my
We're
belief,
finding a lot of evidence.
Yeah, man.
So now my thing is, why haven't we been able to visit Antarctica? Like, why haven't we been able to actually go after him?
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, man? Maybe we have. Maybe we have and we took over. And we're the ones that have the
Maybe,
technology.
honestly,
Or maybe we were over there and we fucked him in the ass. I
terrible,
don't know, bro.
terrible.
Who knows what we did, bro? Who cares? Or not who cares. I didn't mean to say that part, but like who knows, man? The world is actually
The world
crazy.
is not the world. Yeah, the world is not what we think it is.
It's not, man. Aliens going in and out of the fucking ocean every day. But you know what? I think we can call that a wrap for the first podcast right now. I'll definitely have you on again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We'll continue this conversation, man. We'll be more
we
versatile and
we, we
educated.
we tackled a lot of topics that we could dive into it a lot deeper.
Oh yeah, yes sir. Well, with that being said, my friend, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, Gene.
Bro,
I
thank you for having me,
appreciate it.
bro.
Stick with it. We hope to grow. We hope to get better because I know right now it's just kind of like obviously amateur as fuck, but that's the point. You got to start somewhere. So I'll catch you, man. Have a good one. Live your life.
All right, bro.
Peace.
Peace.